10 of the scariest true stories of 2023. Welcome, listeners, to a collection of 10 true stories from 2023 that will send shivers down your spine. These are tales of fear, uncertainty, and the unknown, moments that tested the courage of those who lived through them. But in every shadow, there's a spark of light. Each of these terrifying experiences revealed unexpected blessings, teaching us about resilience, protection, and the hidden gifts in life's darkest moments. Let's dive into these stories, where fear transforms into gratitude. Story 1, The Airbnb Watcher. I once booked an Airbnb by myself in an area in Arizona for a job interview. It was far from home, so I made a short trip out of it. I chose this specific Airbnb because it was much cheaper than any hotels I could find. It was about half an hour away from where I'd be interviewing, off a dead-end secluded road with a nice view of the desert in the backyard. I brought my laptop to work on my current job during the day, keeping me busy. I stayed for 3 days. My interview was on the second day, a Tuesday, and I'd leave on Friday. On Monday night, I was practicing interview questions on my laptop in the living room around 9 p.m. when there was a tap at the window. It wasn't a knock, more like a finger tap. My head swung to the left, but it was pitch black outside, and I saw nothing. Scared but determined, I checked the window and saw no one, just darkness. I figured it might be a bug. After all, Arizona has some nasty ones. The next day, I aced my interview and spent the rest of the trip exploring the town, eating at restaurants, and relaxing in the backyard. Little did I know, I was likely being watched. That night, while watching Breaking Bad on Netflix, I heard another tap at the window. This time, it was unmistakable, not a bug. I rushed to the window, saw nothing, checked the front door, and then stepped onto the back porch. Silence and darkness enveloped the desert. Then, a click, like someone clicking their tongue, came from beyond the house's light. I yelled out, and another click answered, as if in response. I pinpointed the direction and saw a figure in dark clothes standing not too far away, blending into the desert. I shouted, "You're on private property. I'm calling the cops if you don't leave." The figure quickly walked away. I theorized it might be the Airbnb host, but that felt like a stretch. The next night, in bed watching Breaking Bad, I heard the click again, this time muffled from inside the closet. The closet door was open just a crack. I sprang out of bed, ran to my car in my PJs, and called 911 from the driveway, watching the house. When the police arrived, we searched the small house together. There were no signs of forced entry, and no one was found. I packed my stuff and left for a nearby hotel, contacting Airbnb and the host, who only offered a partial refund. I still wonder if it was the host or a stranger with a key. The blessing, this terrifying experience was a wake-up call to trust my instincts and prioritize safety. I landed the job from that interview, a career-changing opportunity that brought me stability and growth. The eerie encounters pushed me to be more cautious, ensuring I'd never again stay in a place without thorough checks. I'm blessed to have escaped unharmed, with a new job and a stronger sense of self-reliance. Story 2, The Haunted Backyard Radio. My wife Cheryl and I, married for 2 years, had just bought a house in a small inland town in Georgia called Was. It was on a quiet street with a big property in front of a medium-sized patch of woods, perfect for our plans to adopt a dog and raise kids. We moved in less than a month ago, but things started on a chilling note. The first 2 nights were normal as we unpacked over the weekend. But on Monday night, after turning off the lights in bed, we heard blasting music from the backyard, old, staticky, vintage music, like something from the 1940s. Our neighbors were too far away for it to be their music. I opened the window, and it was clearer. Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf by Henry Hall, eerie despite its cheerful intent. I ran downstairs, flicked on the backyard lights, and stepped outside. The music wasn't in the yard but coming from the woods. It played to completion, then silence. I figured it was a prank by kids, but it felt unsettling. The next night, it happened again, this time with Tiptoe Through the Tulips, louder and creepier. I saw something on the grass, not a person, but an old radio. I turned it off, yelling to Cheryl that someone left it to scare us. Then she screamed my name, shouting to run inside because she saw 3 figures standing in the woods, facing us. I bolted inside, and we called the police. They took the radio as evidence and checked the woods but found no one. We felt vulnerable, but the figures never returned. This was just weeks ago, and I'm still shaken, hoping they don't come back. The blessing, this ordeal strengthened Cheryl and me as a team, teaching us to face fear together. It prompted us to install security cameras and lights, making our home safer for our future family. The woods, once eerie, became a reminder of our resilience and the community support from the police. We're blessed to have a home we love, now fortified, and a marriage made stronger through adversity. Story 3, The Man in Black at the Hospital. I've worked as a nurse in multiple hospitals, but at a geriatric hospital in 2023, I had an experience that changed me. I was on the graveyard shift in the Alzheimer's ward, running on little sleep. The patients adored me, a young woman in her 20s, as a breath of fresh air. One patient, Lena, was restless, claiming she heard voices and saw a man in black staring from the corner of her room. Her roommate had closed the curtain to avoid her distress. I tried calming Lena, holding her hands and reassuring her I was nearby. She eventually slept, and the ward quieted. Hours later, in the linen room stocking my cart, I felt a hand grab my shoulder. I screamed, but no one was there. Shaken, I resumed work, only to see a man in black outside the door's glass, smiling. I screamed again, waking the ward. A fellow nurse helped me up, saying no one was there. When I checked on Lena, she was awake, talking about the man in black and screams mine, unknowingly. When I asked if he was smiling, her focused expression confirmed my fear. How did you know? She screamed to get out, and other nurses calmed her. I was switched to another ward and went home early, too traumatized. I quit the next day, unable to stay in that building. I've never had hallucinations, and while sleep deprivation could play tricks, the matching descriptions were too real. The blessing. This terrifying night pushed me to find a new job in a hospital with a supportive environment, where I thrive today. It taught me to listen to patients' fears, even if they seem unreal, and deepened my empathy. I'm blessed to have found a healthier workplace and to carry Lena's memory as a reminder of compassion's power. Story 4, The Screams in the Woods. Driving home from work at 12:15 a.m. in my quiet, wooded town, I had my convertible top down on a warm midsummer night. On a road with a cornfield on one side and woods on the other, I heard a blood-curdling woman's scream. I slammed the brakes, heard her cry help from the woods, and grabbed a baton from my back seat. I ran into the woods, yelling for her to keep screaming so I could find her. Her cries continued every 10 seconds, but no matter how far I ran, they stayed the same distance away. Feeling like it might be a trap, I turned back, still hearing the screams as if she followed me. I drove off, called 911, and reported it. A week later, the news reported a woman's body found in those woods, with no signs of foul play. The coincidence chilled me. The blessing, this haunting experience made me more aware of my surroundings and the importance of reporting danger. It inspired me to volunteer with local safety programs, helping others stay safe. I'm blessed to have trusted my instincts, avoiding harm, and to contribute to my community's safety. Story 5, The Vermont Cabin Intruder. Before my girlfriend Jenny and I started dating, we hung out often, bonding over snowboarding. She invited me to her family's cabin in Vermont near Stowe Mountain Resort for a weekend. The 5-hour drive ended on a windy, secluded road with snow-covered driveways, many unoccupied. We arrived at the cozy, snow-laden cabin, turned on the heat, and settled in with food and movies. The cabin lacked running water, so we used an outhouse. That night, I peed off the deck, but the next morning, I noticed large footprints in the snow circling the house and leading to the woods. Jenny thought they were from a black bear. After a great day's snowboarding, we returned at night, started a fire, and played music. I went to the outhouse, heard footsteps in the snow, and texted Jenny, who didn't reply. The house lights went out, and I saw fresh footprints leading to the door. Jenny pulled me inside, whispering that a man had tried to enter. She'd cut the power to hide. We found her dad's rifles in a secret cellar, waited in the dark, and I fired warning shots outside when footsteps returned. The intruder fled, and we left the next morning. Her dad advised us to stay away temporarily. The blessing, this terrifying night brought Jenny and me closer, solidifying our relationship. It taught us to prepare for emergencies, leading us to equip the cabin with better security. We're blessed to have escaped safely, with a stronger bond and a safer retreat for future adventures. Story 6, The Cornfield Trespasser. I'm Howard, 25, living on my family's small farm in Arkansas. Last July, my parents were on a trip, leaving me and my sisters, Crystal and Morgan, to care for the property. Late one night, our dogs went crazy barking at the cornfield. I stepped outside, heard human whistling, and grabbed a gun. My sisters convinced me not to chase the intruder into the dark. I fired a warning shot and yelled to get off our land. The dogs barked again, and I saw a man 20 feet away, staring. He ran into the cornfield when I shouted. I brought the dogs inside, and we called our dad, who said to protect the family. Later, in bed, I heard whistling again, saw the man walking outside, and fired a shot into the grass. He fled and never returned. It might have been teens pranking, but it felt dangerous. The blessing, this scare taught me to take responsibility seriously, preparing me to protect my family. It led us to install motion sensor lights, making the farm safer. I'm blessed to have kept my sisters safe and to have grown into a more confident caretaker, even if I don't want to stay on the farm forever. Story 7, The Supermarket Stalker. I worked night restock at Great America Supermarket in a rural town. From 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. one night, I was scheduled with Terry but started alone, leaving the back door propped open for him. After stocking the bread aisle, I noticed the door stopper was outside, and the door was shut. Terry called, saying he was sick and not coming. Chilled, I checked the back, no one. While stocking, I heard a loud sound across the store. In the dairy aisle, a man in black walked past, staring at me. Thinking he might be a substitute worker, I called out, but he kept moving, appearing at the end of aisles, waving silently with an open mouth. Freaked out, I called my boss, who said to remove him or call the police. I chose 911. The police found him standing creepily in an aisle, smiling and licking his lips. He said he was looking for a snack and was arrested. I never left doors open again. The blessing, this eerie encounter taught me workplace vigilance, leading to stricter security protocols at the store. It pushed me to find a safer job, improving my life. I'm blessed to have escaped danger and to carry a lesson in caution that protects me daily. Story 8, The Ouija Board in the Abandoned Church. 8 years ago, my friends James, Sean, and I, 19-year-old thrill seekers in New Jersey, took a Ouija board to an abandoned church on a closed-off road in October. We parked, walked up the hill, and entered the graffiti-covered church. Sean set up the Ouija board with candles, creating an eerie vibe. We asked cliché questions, laughing as the planchette moved, likely one of us joking. A loud crack from the altar startled us, but we saw nothing and continued. When the planchette stopped moving, another sound came, and a golf ball-sized rock landed on the board. We screamed, ran out, leaving the board and candles, and drove to James's house. Sean, superstitious, believed it was a spirit. I thought someone was in the church. The next day, Sean and James found the Ouija board missing, but the candles remained. The blessing, this terrifying night taught me to respect boundaries and avoid reckless thrills. It strengthened my bond with Sean, as we still share this story, and pushed me to move to Florida for a fresh start. I'm blessed to have escaped safely and to have learned to seek safer adventures. Story 9, The Gas Station Nightmare. Years ago, I worked nights at a gas station to make ends meet. A 6-foot-tall man with stringy hair, nicknamed Bob, came in regularly around 2 a.m. to buy alcohol. He'd often be drunk, once asking my name, Rob, and laughing, "I like that." He never bought gas, just walked off the property. One night, he leaned silently on a shelf, staring at a wall. When I asked his name, he said Bob after a pause, then ranted about losing his job to the government. He called me reliable before leaving. After a week's absence, he returned on a stormy night, soaked, staring blankly. He said, "I did something really bad," and hid in the restroom hallway. The power cut out, plunging the store into darkness. I heard dripping and squeaking shoes in the back room. When I called his name, he lunged, screaming, "I'm going to kill you." I pushed him off, ran to my car, and called 911. Police found him huddled in a corner, pupils dilated, on drugs. Later, I learned his real name was Martin, and he'd killed his ex-wife that night. I never worked nights again. The blessing, this horrifying encounter was a divine nudge to leave a dangerous job, leading me to a safer career. It taught me to trust my gut about uneasy people. I'm blessed to have survived and to live with heightened awareness that keeps me safe. Story 10, The Vacant House Delivery. At 19, I worked at a pizza place, delivering orders like a chicken parm hero and a slice to a dead-end rural block. The house was small, next to an abandoned property, with no lights on and the front door cracked open. I heard piano music from inside, muffled but creepy, looping repetitively. No one answered my knocks or doorbell. I checked the back door, saw a messy yard, and called the pizzeria to confirm the address. It was correct, so I entered, yelling, "Pizza's here." The piano stopped, and a voice said, "Over here," resuming the music. The house was dark and musty. Feeling uneasy, I yelled I was by the front door. A voice claimed difficulty walking, asking me to bring the pizza to the dining room. Suspicious, I peeked around the corner, saw the piano with no player, and no one in the room. I fled, shut the door, and returned to the pizzeria. My boss understood when I explained the sketchy vibe, especially since the customer didn't call back. I later learned the house was foreclosed and vacant. The blessing, this creepy delivery taught me to trust my instincts, likely saving me from danger. It led me to advocate for safer delivery protocols at work, protecting myself and colleagues. I'm blessed to have walked away unharmed, with a sharper sense of caution that guides me daily. These 10 true stories from 2023 remind us that even in our scariest moments, there's a light waiting to shine through. From narrowly escaping danger to finding strength in fear, these experiences became blessings, lessons in trust, resilience and gratitude. May they inspire you to see the gifts hidden in your own challenges. Good night, and stay blessed.